What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. In today's video, I want to get into some salary cap implications from the New York Jets void contracts, because today some contracts come to void and we have to talk about how that impacts the cap. By the way, you might have seen the community post that I put in the YouTube channel. I don't even know. I should use that more, the YouTube community section. Anyway, moral of the story, I'm doing a new show on the formerly Matt O'Leary NY Extra channel that has been rebranded to Big Apple Blitz. If you're unsure of what Big Apple Blitz is going to be, I am doing a show with Anthony Rivardo of Fireside Giants where we'll be talking all things New York football. So you get a Jets perspective, you get a Giants perspective. We've had him on the show before. I've been on his show. We work really well together. It's going to be fun. Roundtable discussion on New York sports, specifically New York football, Jets and Giants. So make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed to that channel. New episodes of that show will drop on Mondays and Thursdays, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, so 4 players' contracts void today, and let's discuss what that means for the New York Jets cap. Dwayne Brown, Carl Lawson, Jordan Whitehead, and Quentin Jefferson all have void years on their contracts, and it comes into play now. And according to Rich Cimini, that will add $15.8 million on the Jets cap. Lawson's is 6.3, Brown 4.7, Whitehead 3.3, and Jefferson 1.5. Now, Jefferson's 1.5 is very small, and I would like to see the Jets bring Quentin Jefferson back. I thought he was a quality addition to the Jets' interior defensive line this past season. It was a shame when he got hurt because he was playing very well next to Quinnen Williams. And the Jets are just kind of thin at that position now. At this moment, that could very well change come down the line, but Quentin Jefferson, Al Wood, Solomon Thomas, 3 guys who played on the interior defensive line last season, those 3 guys are free agents, so the Jets have some work to do. And again, I think Quentin Jefferson was productive, so I'd be willing to bring him back. Jordan Whitehead's $3.3 million contract. He was signed to a 2-year deal originally, and with the void year, 3.3, not terrible number, just not. I don't know. He's not someone that I would look to bring back, to be honest with you. I think he's sometimes a little overrated by the fan base. Yes, he is able to get interceptions, which that part of his game is valuable. No denying that. That's why he's, plays in this league. But his missed tackles is just, it's at an insane clip, and it hasn't gotten better year over year. It's actually probably gotten a little bit worse. He just misses way too many tackles, and he's online all the time talking about how good he is, and will cite things like interceptions. He has Asante Samuel disease, where he thinks that interceptions is the tell-all be-all about defensive backs and how well they're playing. But there's really more to it. And Jordan Whitehead's $3.5 million or $3.3 million, counts towards the 2024 cap. Dwayne Brown at $4.7 million. What a disaster that ended up being, that contract. The Jets were thinking about bringing him in as a swing tackle option. Mekhi Becton gets hurt before the 2022 season, and it goes from he might be a good option for depth to holy crap, you need him right now. He had the Jets over the barrel. He gets a 2-year deal. The Jets were silly enough to rely on him for the 2023 season as their plan A at left tackle. Such a mistake. Relying on the Brown and Becton duo was not a wise decision. Mekhi Becton, free agent. He doesn't have any void years, but Dwayne Brown had a void year on his deal for this year. So both those guys are free agents. Jets are losing both their day one starting tackles. They are expected to make multiple changes on the offensive line. So not really a surprise, and I would not expect Dwayne Brown to be back. I would be surprised if he signed somewhere else. And last but certainly not least is Carl Lawson. It's a shame what happened with Carl Lawson. One, he got hurt his first year here in 2021. I was excited to see him come in off a really good 2020 season. Injured, tears his Achilles, misses the entire season. 2022 was solid for the New York Jets. He wasn't a star and he wasn't bad. I think some people overhated him or underrated him to an extent in 2022. And then this past year, he didn't play all that much. And when he did play, he wasn't very effective. He was hurt again. And that's unfortunately been the story of Carl Lawson's career. His injuries have really derailed it, going back to his time at Cincinnati, which is tough. It's tough because he's, when he was healthy and on the field, he was a productive player. But unfortunately, sometimes injuries derail careers, and that seems what's happened with Carl Lawson. And they restructured Lawson last year. They could have just gotten out of the contract. So that's kind of a hindsight move at this point. But for those who were on the camp of they could just cut Carl Lawson and free up, the entirety of his money and not have this cap hit, the $6.3 million now, like that would have been nice to have, because the 6.3 that's a big number, or relatively big number. As dead money, where Browns, Whitehead, and Jefferson, they're all under $5 million. Yes, it adds up, but you can kind of live with that. Where Carl Lawson, like, if he played last year and was a really big part of the Jets defense, and that's what they were expecting. They went into the year where it was going to be Carl Lawson and JFM as your starting edges, just like it was in 2022. And let's say he played 50% of snaps this year, then maybe it would have been worth it to do that, but that wasn't the reality. He was hurt, and I think he ended up playing like 8% of snaps, and he was inactive most of the way. They could have traded him at the deadline. They probably should have done that if they got any offers, it is believed to be true that they did get interest in Carl Lawson. Probably should have just moved on, but that's at this point hindsight. So that's the Jets dead cap that they're dealing with from their void contracts. And still, the Jets can restructure other guys, and with cuts, like some obvious or an obvious cut candidate is CJ Uzama, frees up a significant chunk of money, and also they could cut Laken Tomlinson. Tomlinson could restructure. I don't think Tomlinson's back on his current deal, so I believe we will either get one of two things from him: a restructure or just flat out cut. I'm of the belief that I would move on from Laken Tomlinson. I think the Jets could upgrade for significantly cheaper and save $8 million roughly against the cap. That's the direction that I think I would go. But other than that, it's the Jets are going to be able to restructure guys, and I would imagine get somewhere around $45 to $55 million in cap space, depending on how aggressive they are. But I just wanted to cover the void contracts because I saw that floating around today and figured that we might get some questions on the salary cap implication from the Jets void contract. So there you go. A little bit more newsy today. We will keep an eye out for anything else that happens today in Jets land. So make sure to subscribe to the show right here on YouTube. I appreciate the support. Before you go, leave a like. Make sure to check out Big Apple Blitz as well. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.